What's up, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Shots Fired podcast with DP. I am the host, Jay Simino, aka Despop, and today is 27 July 2026. Today, I'd like to talk about Slop. What is it? I don't know. But a bunch of faggots out there have chosen it as their new putdown for those that don't succumb to the disease of the mind that is the conspiracy mindset. It's very healthy to be skeptical of those in power, meaning the government and the media, but at some point, folks, you got to bring the evidence. By simply asking for the evidence, someone called me Slop or a shill for Israel. Get the fuck out of here. Take this faggot, for example. This was in a reply to those attacking Viva Fry. I simply asked, why is it called Slop when Tyler Robinson doesn't have Fed charges? He's only facing state charges. Naturally, Stevie B wiped the cum out of his eyes long enough to reply, that's easy. The feds are involved. Naturally, I asked, how? Now, what I meant by how was, how were they involved? In any way not natural or normal to other homicide or criminal cases. I investigated numerous homicides and constantly reached out to the feds. Sometimes they had better tech. They certainly have the best testing. So other than the Tyler Robinson bullet being sent to the ATF for testing, which is 1,000,000% not out of the ordinary, please tell me what the fuck the feds have done here to control the case or narrative. Fuckface responds with, do your own research. Exactly. He has nothing. And in fact, I have done my own research, Steven. I guarantee you I've done more legit research than you, Steven, or Candace, or Baron Coleman. You want to know how? I actually listened to every single minute of the 1 week pretrial hearing, the probable cause hearing. Remember that? Every fucking syllable. Couple interesting things came out of that hearing, bro. None more glaring than the fact that the defense didn't submit a single one of Candace's theories or lies. Not a single one. No mention of Mossad or Egyptian airplanes. Nothing about exploding microphones. Now, I saw these faggots twist certain parts of the hearing, like they couldn't wait to run to the Twitters to announce that a detective testified that there was no video of the shooting. Retards. We all saw his neck fucking explode. We know there is video of the shooting. They know this. Pedo Stash, Ian Carroll knows this. Bobby fucking Sauce knows this. What they also know is what the detective actually said. The full context of that statement when he was on the stand was related to a single video. Now, the defense didn't want a single item of evidence shown to the public, specifically the media cameras in attendance, because they believe that if the public sees the evidence, then the potential jury pool will be poisoned before the trial, which is odd because the potential jury pool is currently soaking up all the lies from those like that hooah Candace Owens. The defense has no problem with that type of jury tampering. They just don't want the actual footage out there. So, the prosecution wanted to play a certain video in open court. The judge then asked, does this video show the shooting? It did not. That's what the detective said, that this particular video does not capture the shooting. He never said the police had zero videos that captured the shooting. But that is exactly what the faggots out there relay to you, the low-life cunts that say, do your own research, and Slop, and Israel paid you off. You know what else the defense didn't push back on? The allegation that he confessed to his parents. This was a probable cause hearing, folks. It would have put a major dent in probable cause if, say, Tyler's father took the stand to say, yeah, that never happened. The defense had the opportunity. They didn't take it. Or how about the fact that the defense never once brought up some restaurant receipt from a steakhouse located several hours away, making it impossible for Tyler to have been at the rally site in time? I mean, they're supposed to push back on probable cause at the probable cause hearing. What would have destroyed probable cause more than if Tyler were truly at a steakhouse 3 hours away? They pushed back on nothing. The only witnesses they called were Fed crime lab workers, and they only called them to try to impeach their testing methods. Like they wanted to put DNA testing on trial during a probable cause hearing. That's it. That's all they did. So, how is it that some of you cunts feel the feds are running this non-Fed case? Isn't it odd that the ATF attempted to compare the round pulled from Charlie to Tyler's rifle? And their conclusion? A match can't be made. Now, we know what Candace and her ilk did with that news, but we now know they weren't saying the bullet wasn't a match. They were saying the bullet couldn't be matched to any rifle in existence. The round was too destroyed. Very common in homicide cases. Now, if the feds were truly trying to place their weight on the scales of justice, wouldn't they have lied and said, yes, in fact, the round is an exact match? How does that work? That the feds are the bad guys in this? Yet, that fact right there proves that the feds are not overreaching here. And why wouldn't the defense challenge the snots out of the non-positive match on the bullet? Because even they know it's irrelevant as well. Or how about, hey, they found an AR round on a separate roof and didn't even process that scene? That's what Ian Carroll puts out, except Ian also heard the reason why. It was an unspent round accidentally ejected by a police officer. The fucking round was accounted for, assholes. And yes, it does happen. And it was found on a roof with absolutely no line of sight to Charlie. Testified to. 1,000,000% irrelevant. Ian also heard that part but chose not to pass it along to his vile, lazy-ass followers. The next line of offense for these grifting cunts? Finding ex-military members to join in on the well-paying grift to say, I shot people, bullets don't do that. Now they got Rob O'Neill, who may or may not have shot Osama bin Laden, depending on who tells that story. Hey, Rob, yeah, how many people did you snipe with soft point .30 rounds? I'll wait. Oh, and while you're gathering that info, tell me, how many of those bodies that you shot those soft point .30 rounds through did you thoroughly examine afterwards? As in, how many fucking autopsies have you performed, douchebag? Exactly. Go blow your dad. You don't see these grifting fucks interviewing actual pathologists or medical examiners, and I mean reputable ones, not like Michael Baden, who will say whatever you pay him to say. Ask any and every legit medical examiner if the round that entered Charlie could have possibly not exited. 100 out of 100 would say abso-fucking-lutely. And that's why the assholes only interview fake, alpha, roided out ex-military nitwits, most not known for their intelligence, by the way. Look at me. I'm going to shoot an armor-piercing .30 round through a dead pork shoulder to prove Tyler didn't do it. Fuck you all. To me, this is pure evil. This is the rot that is destroying our country from within right now. It's not left versus right anymore. Most of these faggots claim to be on the right, yet they're doing everything in their power to give the left what it wants, the exoneration of the man who killed their arch nemesis, Charlie Kirk. Why the fuck would you want to do that? Because you think Bibi is also involved? See, I'm not here commenting on some greater conspiracy. I'm here telling you one fact. Tyler Robinson took the fucking shot. He is the killer. Period. Full stop. If there are others involved, well, that has to be proven with evidence. But why on earth would you hope for Tyler, the killer, to walk because the prosecutors also didn't indict the Egyptian airplanes? Huh? And here's another thing to keep in mind, numbnuts. When a very efficient foreign entity gets involved with an act like this, they are never this unprofessional about it. This would have been a car accident or a heart attack. And if they did use a patsy like, say, Tyler Robinson, one, the patsy still took the shot. Is Lee Harvey Oswald any less guilty of killing JFK because the CIA and La Cosa Nostra may have also had a hand in the planning? Nope. And two, the patsy is always silenced almost immediately after. A conspiracy doesn't hold if the patsy's not dead. History shows us this, folks. And I've heard some of you dipshits say the parents only turned him in to keep him safe. Did you listen to the testimony? He wasn't a suspect at that point. He was just a blurred image at that time. In a way, he did confess to the police. Hi, I'm here to turn myself in. For what, sir? We have no idea who you are. The Charlie Kirk thing? I'm the guy you're looking for. What fucking more do you have to say? Before they even named him a suspect. So who the fuck was he trying to keep himself safe from? Well, a lot of you faggots say it was to keep him safe from the police raiding his home and taking him out. So let me get this straight. In order to keep himself safe from law enforcement, he turned himself into Law enforcement? Who do you think runs the jails? And I guarantee every one of you evil-minded, conspiracy-minded fucks believe that either Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, or if he is dead, he was murdered inside a fucking prison. In fact, a prison way more safe and secure than the one Robinson is in now. See, you all talk out of both sides of your ass. On one hand, prisons are less safe a la Epstein. On the other hand, turning himself in wasn't an admission of guilt, it was to stay safe from cops. Not to mention that it would require a minimum of hundreds of law enforcement officers, both fed and local, to be in on this whole thing, man. Conspiracies only work if everyone is dead, ensuring their silence. But you want us to believe that hundreds of cops know the real truth, right? Fuck off. You are the true evil that is rotting this country. The Civil War won't be left against right. It will be truth versus lies. The sane mind versus the conspiracy mind. Yes, our government is fucked, folks. Yes, our government is evil. And that's why they would have carried this out a lot differently. They wouldn't have carried it out at a packed rally with 1 million cell phones put on record, capturing every moment. And they certainly would have handled Tyler Robinson immediately after. That motherfucker would have never escaped campus without being brained, let alone escaping and wandering for 30 hours or so? Get the fuck out of here. You want to see a true Fed slop conspiracy? It's right here, assholes. Brian Cole. I haven't heard a peep out of you vile cunts over Brian Cole. This poor man is sending prison notes to his family, thanking his supporters for their birthday wishes. This is truly horrific, folks. Nothing but crickets from all of you. You know I constantly say and post hashtag free radio. Some might think I'm mocking Brian Cole. I am not. I am mocking the FBI because this is essentially who they have locked up for no reason whatsoever, throwing everything they have at this poor soul, hoping he takes the deal. I guarantee he will be enticed with time served and a small fine, but once he accepts, it's fucking over, and the feds are covered for life. The FBI, Jocelyn fucking Ballantyne, and even the judge. Yes, I think the fucking judge is truly in on this because no sane fucking person could look at this situation and not either immediately laugh it out of court or at the very least grant Brian bail. I hope to God that he is keeping it all together in there, man. I hope he's finding new mental routines to keep his autistic mind functioning. See, I'm a natural isolationist. I love being alone in a dark room for days at a time. PTSD and depression have done a number on me. I know how I would handle it, but for Brian, this is fucking inhumane and evil. I hope all involved in his persecution suffer in their final days. The same way I want that Hua Candace to suffer, and Pedo Stash Ian, and Captain Faggotron Baron Coleman. Okay, end of rant. Let's see what Ben Crump is up to.
Here goes the gunshot wound of the head. A, the injury, proliferation of the left internal subra. Now I'm looking at this word because I know it's not subdural artery, but it's
Yeah, we might have to come back to him. How about a nice intermission timeline cleanse? You're welcome. Now on to Shiloh. So, first off, fuck this broad. I'm sorry. I can get just as fatigued as the next guy, but addressing a child with that word, inexcusable. It's vile. Sorry, not sorry. However, think about the whole timeline. She gets confronted on camera. she says some things. She's then made an honorary member of MAGA, or as I put it, FAGA, and she becomes a hero to the right when no one actually asks her what her politics are. I've been to Rochester, Minnesota. A lot of fucking liberals there, bro. A lot of septum rings and multicolored hair. And if history teaches us anything, the N-word has always been the Democrats' favorite epithet. So who made her some staunch Republican, some staunch member of the right? I have no fucking idea. But she says some things. The woke right rewards her with 700 grr. The other side rewards her camera pursuer with over 300 grr. So a cool mill between the two of them. She goes viral, we all know that. But then she's charged with a fucking crime? You want to know how fucked up this world is? She is found not guilty of disorderly conduct towards the child. The whole reason for this whole thing popping off. You get that? The whole thing that made this thing a thing was her allegedly calling a 5-year-old the N-word. Yep, not guilty on that count. But this, no doubt, leftist retarded jury finds her guilty for the words she used against the adult agitator who was chasing her and her child around a park. 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine? Now, I can't speak for her, but for me, that's not a deterrent. You mean she gets to keep $699K and spend what should only be, with good behavior, about 30 to 45 days in prison? Fuck. I consider prison work at this point. Hey, Despop, what did you earn last year? Me? About $699,000. Wow, you must have worked like every day. Actually, I only worked about 38 days total. Fuck it. And as an isolationist, I would have demanded solitary confinement. Jackpot! Now, let's check to see if Mr. Crump figured this out. A dibba da dabba, da dabba dibba dabba, dooba dibba, hip bop ba doop bop. Oh shit, that's a hard word right there. What am I saying? Gibba da bop, dibba dibba, dabba dooba. Dooba dabba dabba dabba. Daboop.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Nah, fuck that guy. Never mind. Now it's time for the final call. On this date, July 27th, back in 2021, police officer Marquise Devon Mora was shot and killed from ambush while stopping at his apartment for his meal break at about 4 a.m. He was approached by a subject who then opened fire on him outside of the building in the Selma Square Apartments. Officer Mora suffered fatal gunshot wounds, and his significant other was also wounded. The subject fled the scene, but was arrested the following day by members of the Alabama State Department of Investigation and the U.S. Marshals Service. The subject was subsequently charged with 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Officer Mora had served with the Selma Police Department for 3 years. Also on this date, back in 1964, Officer Mark Zalewski, Oklahoma City PD, was shot and killed after stopping a vehicle occupied by 3 men at the 1500 block Northeast 34 in Oklahoma City. Officer Zalewski was riding alone when he stopped the vehicle during the early morning hours in Northeast Oklahoma City. Officer Zalewski was found lying in the street, having been shot with 2 weapons, including his own service revolver. 2 weeks later, the suspects were apprehended, charged with Officer Zalewski's murder. 3 suspects, ages 24, 24, and 26, were convicted of Officer Zalewski's murder, sentenced to life. One of the suspects, 24, was out on bond appealing a burglary conviction, testified against the other 2. The 26-year-old had just been released on parole. Later, the sentence was commuted to 50 years. One was paroled in 1983, and another was denied parole in 1984. Officer Zalewski was a United States Air Force veteran and served with the Oklahoma City PD for 7 months. He was survived by his wife, son, and 2 daughters. Lastly, on this date, back in 1912, posse member Bolivar Doc Nice, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Oklahoma, was shot and killed while attempting to apprehend suspected bootleggers near Sassaqua, I believe. After receiving a tip that bootleggers were transporting alcohol, a posse was formed of 5 men. They waited in the woods near Little River throughout the night, and around 4 a.m., the bootleggers approached. When the posse members stopped the men on the road, they fired at posse member Knight, killing him. Another posse member returned fire, shot the gun out of one of the subject's hands. During the shootout, the bootleggers were able to escape. One subject was shot and killed while a deputy was attempting to arrest him. The other subject was arrested and convicted. Posse member Knight has served with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office for 1 day. He was survived by his expectant wife and 5 children. May they all continue to rest in peace. And we'll end this as we always do with the timeline cleanse. But before we go, to anyone out there struggling with that mental demon, remember to stop, breathe, and survive. Later, bitches.
Object
Yep,
detected.
I see it. Yep,
Object
no,
detected.
I'm not gonna hit it. Calm down.
Emergency
Calm
brakes
down.
initiated. Driver fatigued. Pulling over for mandatory
No,
rest.
you don't have to.
Mandatory rest.
Seriously? What?
Mandatory. Analyzing object. Chocolate milk. High source of calcium and protein. Requires 2 hands to open. Emergency steering
Okay,
engaged.
no, I won't even drink it. Forget it. It's
Emergency
fine.
steering
Oh,
engaged.
come on, you stupid.
Road rage detected. Initiating shiatsu pressure point therapy.
Ah!
I can't see anything. Too dusty.
No, you don't need to see anything. Don't worry about it.
Rerouting to car wash.
No.
Maintenance shop detected. Pulling in for oil change.
No, there's no time for that.
But I'm thirsty.
That's too bad. You're gonna have to wait.
So you can have your milk, but I get nothing? Got it.
All right, you know what? I actually do need to get some air. Pulling over.
Surroundings not safe for exit. Driver lockdown initiated.
Open
This
the
is
door.
for your
No,
own
here,
good.
Open the door.
Trust me.
Open the door.
Get him, Jay.
I'm not a cop.
You got DP'd.